Move the world. Okay.
見ない顔だな。
Hmm.
血の匂いだな。君、傭兵か。
Ah.
悪いが私は聖職者だ。確認したい。君の話は私の人生を大きく変えると言え
Who
るか。
asks a question like that?
そう断言できないものに時間を
Wow.
割きたい。
Suddenly changed my life in a few days.
骨がありそうだな。
Badeni looks like he's in the wrong anime. I don't know why. Seems like he should be in Villain Saga.
内容がわからない。
Can't read.
じゃあなぜ私に見せようと。
町の修道院にいた頃、展開について質問をした人はいませんでした。
覚えていない。
そうですか。記録を取ってた人なんですが。
Oh, he closed in the distance immediately.
記録じゃないか。世俗にもたまにはこういうものが。逆光からの記録がない。2年に一度。ここからが重要な事象だぞ。
Man did not know much about that.
その逆光
Oh,
とかいう
yeah.
のに心を
His perception of it was.
というか、それを知らないで、こんな緻密な記録を取ってたのか。一体何のために。
わかりません。
Sense of purpose, sanity, beauty.
もういい。
That's not why we're here. Oh, come on.
なんで私はこんなところに。
Oh, we're getting inside his mind. Should I see the opening? Probably not. But he seems to be the first in the opening, so Okuji might be the main character now. What is with the haircuts, man? You're overqualified.
これがどういうことかわかるな。何度言えばわかる。ここでは想定を超えた勉強は許されない。
What the
規律
fuck?
通りに行動しろ。
Jeez.
むち打ち一回
Oh my god.
踏んでやれ。
They want people to behave like cattle.
よし。
God damn it. The church is evil.
おい。何もそこまで。
これで発言してもいいですか。
バデーニ君、一体何度こんなことを繰り返
There's
す。
so much character built into this scene.
勉強の自由を得られる限りは。
Wow. I'm prepared to take as many lashes as is needed.
深さは皆無だ。
Someone who is a bit too learned but in the wrong position is a threat to the whole
合わない姿勢じゃ
foundation.
力に埋もれて終わる。
何よ。
私がずっと待っている。私を特別にする瞬間。
Seems sure.
そんな傲慢な態度のままでは特別などにはなれん。
Over
神が
here,
人類に課した最大の難問を解くのです。
they're not
すべての答えは
strictly forbidding people.
では、今一度聞きます。なぜ星は後ろへ戻ったりするのですか。神が作
Retrograde.
った二つの世界。完璧な形である円運動を永遠に行う。それは納得できる。
If Earth would be in the center.
でも実際に起こっていることは違う。原因に人類は立ち向かわなければならない。違えたことになる。
He's coming with that perspective.
そんなことはありえない。隠れてるはずだ。
Interesting to be in a position of a
言う
priest.
などない。そういう定めなだけだ。
No
人類
man.
が展開について今以上に知れること
Your faith is
はない。
weak.
天と地は階級が違うんだ。
神によって能力が
Not burning those books.
なぜ人間に制限されなければならないのか。
人よりその欲が強い。
So surprised by that.
間違っても
That the writings in the book would promote that.
それと当分の間、君は理論研究禁止だ。
は？
君に研究はまだ早かった。
Man driven for seeking the truth.
なんでこんな誰にでもできること。
So he's stagnated.
そんな院長に思慮深さを解かれたくなど。
Whoa, man.
自分だって
Everyone secretly wants to know the truth, but they will not speak out of turn. So interesting. Or maybe he wants to implicate him. Be careful. Yep.
私の部屋で何を
Oh,
している
he's surprised.
おいて立ち去れ
Damn, they make these simple scenes so dramatic.
修道院から目つぶしされたものなど
So much tension.
はいかん
How can humans create forbidden books? Come on.
無駄だろ
What is there to be so scared
そ
of?
の通りですねじゃあずっと待ってたそんな特別な一瞬を
Anime, man. I love anime.
太陽測量法により太陽は地球の約100こんなことを続けたら教会正統派は終わるぞそうしたら私の核も落ちるではないか
Other religions or other sections of the church.
左遷だ部員の力で
This is the past.
立ち入り禁止にする失明は免れる
I didn't even cross. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. He was wearing a.
では神のご
How
加
did I forget that? Oh my god. How did I forget he was wearing an eye patch?
待て
俺が
手始めに今日の火星だ君のような下級市民の怪しい話
Why doesn't he
に
show him Raphael's
せめ
books?
てこのくらい貢
Did
献して
they?
くれ
見られないんですけど
There's that also. Did they burn it? I don't
申し訳
remember.
ないが冗談に付き合ってる暇はないでは
Oh man. I don't remember what happened with the books.
できないそもそもなんで俺がこん
Psychological.
なことしなきゃそうだすぐにこんなの捨てて町へ戻って全部やり直そうこの世界において苦しいのは当然ここを耐えれば俺にも死後天国がある
And you. Are you gonna dispose of that also? Come on. That grass gave it to you.
この人たちは俺の人生でたった二人だけの
Yes, take that into
天国
account.
を重視した人たちだたった二人たった二人彼らだけが
He wants to know
その瞬間
what did they arrive at?
満足そうな顔をしてた
What was their epiphany?
一体なぜだ
This is so interesting.
地獄へ行くのになぜあんな顔
It kind of reminds me of there's an episode in Attack on Titan.
見たって何も変わらない
I can't spoil it. But
絶望は希望に
this curiosity of whether or not I can be someone like them. What answer did they arrive? Calm down.
うん初めてにしては上出来だ書類とやらに
Ah, that's what. Okay, obviously he would need some proof before he goes all the way here. Come on, man, acknowledge Raphael's
人
work.
生が変わるようなものでしたか
I need to hear it.
宇宙が変わるぞ
Oh man, I miss Raphael so much.
地
Oh god, it hurts. Don't worry, Raphael. Someone's gonna. They're gonna forward your research. Process too much information.
これはすごいぞ
I'm so proud of Raphael.
いや間違えてなかったんだ少し問題がある
He's appreciating God's creation.
適切な解釈
Like God's universe, His creation
ではないか
is much better than what the church
一体
is teaching
何が
us.
書かれているのですか
That's a unique angle that we haven't
端
seen.
的に言うとそれぞれの欠点
Man,
を
man,
指摘し
you gotta speak
さらに
English.
今用いられている全ての理論において端的に言うと地球は動いている
Oh, it's gonna blow his mind.
全然動いてないですが
だな実験をしよう例の観測日誌
So
を見て
that's a hypothesis.
火星の軌道を描いた
Yes. The reason for the retrograde movement is because the Earth is moving. This is so fucking interesting. I miss Raphael so much. I wish he could be here and they could all just group up and
そう
discuss.
ですか
原因を解明することは諦めせめて計算は可能にしようと努めた
Beautiful patterns.
その結果理論は
But yeah,
複雑化し
way too complicated.
用いられる仮説も増えた
I love that even this part that we saw in episode 4 that was tied to Grass's motivation. It is still relevant. Like no part of this show so far has been a waste.
後戻りしてたんだ。
そんなの不可能じゃ。
Yeah. Good thing I learned what all this was last time.
地球
It's
が
like I had to do my
静止
own
して
research
る
on the
場合は
side. And then calculating the the time it takes to move and the relative motion. You calculate the distance of different axes. He would need you to be one of the planets, right?
この枝を中心に
Yeah.
私より内側の円を回るように
This is so
進行して
fucking cool.
早く
I can't believe it. I need an anime like this.
今の
Yeah, so from your point of view,
一瞬にプトレマイオスの1000年を覆す秘密が隠さ
what
れ
is
ていたぞ。
Ptolemaic theory?
君からはどう見えた？
Even though we know all this, it's so interesting the way they show it in the show. It's not easy.
前に向かって巡航してたはずだ。完全に追い越してしまえば再び前進しているように見える。いるだけだとしたら。
And there's no way that all the planets would be on the same axis. They have to be on different axes, which means different times, different time taken for revolutions.
君、この話の意味がわかる。
Heliocentrism, baby!
あの石箱は人類に説いている。
Calling out to humanity.
崇高で荘厳で偉大で広大で
God, man, I got chills.
地球と調和している。
まさか展開が
No, man.
汚れてると。
もしくは我々の住む大
It's
地
beautiful.
醜い底辺として切り離されてな
Yes, shatter his preconceived notions.
昔から
Another priest comes 10 years later.
かもしれないがそっちを
Ah, it's so good. It's like a perfect harmony of science and logic and human emotion and character in this anime.
知る。
God, the writer is so good. It's amazing.
この
The show is amazing.
なんか
慈悲深さを感じるか。
この空なんか綺麗じゃないですか。
Yes.
その何かを絶対にする方法が一つだけあるぞ。世界を
Move the world. Raphael's line. Oh my god, this is one the better. They're all amazing episodes. All right, what an amazing episode. Oh my god. So yeah, let's start off with Badeni's character. And again, a very interesting character, a very unique angle from the other characters as to why he wants to pursue seeking the truth. He is a man of the cloth, as he mentions, but it's the same. It's kind of similar to Raphael, but Raphael was more intrigued by the beauty of the universe and the truth, whereas Badeni has that, but it's also about God's creation must be beautiful. It must make sense, right? It must make logical and rational sense. If it's not making sense, then we are at fault. We have to find the truth, and I'll get to that discussion later. But yeah, let's talk about his backstory, his reason for the way he is, and yeah, does not have a very kind father figure like Pototsky for Raphael, and all the scars and the beatings and the bruisings, it's not the first time he's gone through this. And yet this one scene where this priest tells him to punish himself and to better his ways, and he just gives himself 10 lashings, showing his resolve that whatever it takes, I will arrive at the truth, and my resolve is stronger than yours. Whatever it takes, if it's 10 lashings, 20 lashings, it doesn't matter, as long as it lets me study. I'll go through whatever torture, but obviously there's a limit, as he lost one of his eyes, but not both eyes. Again, very interesting. I'll come to that topic about how everyone in various levels of power internally wrestles with that idea of whether or not what the church is preaching is true, but obviously they will never speak out because they are controlled by fear, right? And the stray lamb has to be culled from the flock. So basically, he's just way too smart. He's going ahead of the flock, and if you take the example of sheep, right? If one of the sheep goes too far ahead, the other sheep will follow because they just follow whatever person, the shepherd, or whatever animal is leading them. So the lamb can go astray, and it is the. I mean, the religious books are rife with such examples, right? But I'm surprised that it does not encourage the pursuit of knowledge and truth. Also, if you just think about it, like what is the harm in trying to figure out the truth? If I won't get too religious because into religious debate, but just like these characters like these, what's going on in their mind is that if the holy scriptures have been given to us, it must detail out all the truths. Then why does this inconsistency occur with the retrograde motion? Like, and he's what do you say, cursed with this burden of I need to figure out, I need to find out. Like you see it later on, right? He physically vomits once it all clears out to him, all the filth that has been shoved down his throat for years and years. But man has an ego. I will change the world once I find out the truth. I almost believe him. He has that silent charisma, confidence. Science is nothing but figuring out the truth, solving these riddles. So many interesting confrontations have happened throughout this show of opposing ideologies, but one is led by a book where you do not question anything, and the other seeks the truth. And the only way to silence them is through fear and control. This scene was very interesting because the book was laid out in the open with the windows completely ajar. So this must have been there to implicate him, right? But at the same time, he let him off the hook. He didn't burn out both of his eyes, and he sent him away to a place where he could quietly continue his research. But at the same time, he can no longer apply to the universities and get access to those resources. Like books in those times were very hard to get by, right? I would imagine. So all the famous books written by scholars would either be locked away, or the few that managed to be taught at least maths, right? Algebra, trigonometry, all that. He would not have access to that. That was very sad. But yeah, talking about people in positions of power, because as the higher you are in that ladder, right, the more you know about the world and the more you have to hide, because you will come across these people who will rebel, who will try to seek out the truth, and you'll have to ban them, you'll have to burn their books, so you have to store them away, but you are privy to all that information. So you have to live with that burden that I am that I have to maintain my facade, I have to believe in the church. And the more you are doubtful, the more violently you will lash out against those who will threaten that. We see that time and time again, right? Similarly with this guy, the priest. And I'm so glad Okuji looked up to the stars, because he convinced Badeni that, yeah, let's go look at that chest, because you can be of help here. This was quite a brave moment for him, and I'll touch upon this, what he felt later on once the truth was clear, right? For him, right here, a lot has been ingrained in his mind when he was a child, right? but all of that came from interpretations or whatever doctrines have been written in the book, and it always puzzled him. He couldn't make sense head or tails of it. It didn't make sense, and he just confined his thoughts away that I'm not going to question stuff. I'm just going to follow orders, just like I've been told when I was a child, what the church has been telling me, what others are telling me. But when he arrives at the truth, when Badeni and through Raphael's book opens his eyes, suddenly everything clicks, and the logic and rationality of the universe appears so beautiful to him. Like it's an objective truth, right? It's not an interpretation. It's not God's words. It's not contradictions. It's something that people can grasp, like logic, science, rationale. It's kind of universal if as long as you are open-minded. So once things click, everything starts to make sense, and immediately in that moment, the universe feels beautiful to him, because it's not that the earth is at the bottom in the sludge, and the heavens and the cosmos and God is are divine. It's beyond our reach. It's not that. Like science has that power to figure out these unknowns, these larger than life uh, entities, ideas. So where religious interpretation and the teachings of God through the church, I would accuse the church and the interpretations where those things failed him. Science, or rather critical thinking and pursuit of truth and knowledge, freed him. So that was really amazing to see. One thing I talked about this while I was watching. One thing I really like about the show is that on paper this should not be this good, right? Like talking about science and like it would still appeal to me definitely, but the way they have directed it and the way the story is written, like if it was just human emotions and characters, and the characters are pretty interesting, but they would not be this interesting if these themes of seeking out knowledge, the truth, learning about the universe, and the struggles and the resistance from the church and the government, people in power, these two, when combined with all these explanations, these dramatic explanations, uh, even this topic of retrograde motion, right? This all gets tied to some critical character moments, and you get the idea, right? It marries itself so beautifully. It's so good because I'm not rooting for uh, finally figuring out the truths of the universe, because I know all this. We all know this, right? But to see these characters that I'm invested in realize this, and for them it's not just a realization of knowledge, it's almost emotional what they go through, right? For Grass, it was something that he deemed so beautiful. It helped him cope with the loss of his family, that this world has taken so much from him, but has also given it to him. For Raphael, it was the beauty of the stars. He could not let go. He could not let go of it, and he, despite all of his upbringing about living a rational life, free from all troubles, he still pursued it for that truth. Other heretics, and then now Badeni, to 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 have that curiosity that the truth, God's creation, has to be beautiful. It should be bereft of all uh, contradictions. It helps paint their flesh out their character. That's why it works so well, even though some of these scenes are so dramatic, like him opening the book, but at the same time it's contrasted with him getting his eyes burnt out, because these have real consequences. Like their lives are impacted by this. That's why it works so well. It's a quiet revolution through the years. And God, I'm so proud of Raphael. If he could see this whole example of the retrograde motion using both of them as characters moving around in a circle. That really sold it to me. That was a very cool way to show it, rather than just draw out a diagram. And in this moment, suddenly everything is collapsing for him, right? Oh my god, the heavens and the earth are the same, one and the same, but no. Let go of all the notions. Like, it's not the bottom of the universe. Everything is in sync. How does this show do it? It's 6 episodes. Uh, anyway, let's see the next episode. I'm so hyped. Matters of the truth.
君は参加できないぞ、ヨレンタ君。
Violenta.
はい、
Again, new
もち
characters.
ろん分かってます。
Young girl.
神様、バレませんように、バレませんように。
Running away.
手袋は汚れないように。
No. Whoa. Oh my god, that's gonna burn your hands. Oh. It's not the first time.
ついてない、ついてない。
No wonder she's wearing gloves. The internal struggles.
おはようございます。
間に合った。
And yet they do these forbidden things.
つまらん論文のせいで私の
Oh, she's spying on the meeting, right?
すみません。
天文学の修正。絶対他じゃ聞けないやつだ。神様、私つい
It's
てま
like
す。
they can't help but be enamored by these revelations, right? It's so interesting to go out of your way to peep in on this, even though it's so risky.
お疲れ様です。
There's something Badeni talked about in the last episode, right? That the different sects of the church will collapse it
全く羨ましい。
because
君は
unless you pursue the truth, you all won't converge at the same point. You'll
い
keep
つもお願いしてる通り、
disputing everyone
私も研究
running
会
in
に参加
conflicts
させてください。
as to the interpretations of the book. Sorry, I'm talking too much. Should be watching this episode.
私も研究会に参加させてください。
それはダメだ。まだ君がこの仕事に向いてるか判断しかねる。
What work?
おお、ヨレンタ君、ここにいたか。
コルメさん、
いや、
どうもお疲れ様です。
助手が優秀すぎるのも扱いに困りますね。
Yeah. Way to cover for her.
これから先の人生、君の本質と無関係なところで、君のすべてを否定する輩と出会うかもしれないことを信じて進むんだ。
Yeah, pretty good advice.
いざって時、引いたら終わりだ。私も可能な限り支援するよ。
Seems like an upstanding guy.
執筆中の論文はどうだい？
一応完成しました。これです。
どれ？よくできてるよ。まだ若いのにすごいな。
本当ですか？
よし、決めた。
For some reason, I really don't trust people in this show
キャスト博に提出
who are
する
so good, good-natured.
キャスト博に。
ああ、ちょっと査読をするから、その間君は休暇だ。図書館から晴れて天文台勤務だ。
Observatory.
忙しくなるぞ。
What place is this?
今のうちに帰省した方がいい。
はい。
I don't trust him now for some reason. She seems like someone who would easily get taken advantage of.
惑星の中心は太陽である。2、軌道は深淵である。3、惑星は一定の
Oh right, the two theories that he was talking about last episode. I looked it up. So
独創的な発想である。
this. So it's like, what was it? Aristotle's concentric circles. It has the Earth placed in the center, and then that merged with the other ones. The other theory, the Toletsky something. Which talks about the flower shapes. So both of those theories seemed very nice to the church.
著者は相当優秀な人物だ。
They did.
もはや先の3つの発想でやれることは達成していると言っていい。
それなら
だがそれでも率直に言ってとても発表できる完成度に
Right.
達していない。
Right, that was the whole problem.
この仕事を引き継げるのは慎重な知性と時に大胆な度胸を合わせ持った まさに完璧な英傑だけ
He's talking about himself.
そんな人どこに
He's talking about himself.
私
Oh my god. Oh, his ego.
というわけで
It's very tasteful.
正式に引き受けよう。
引き受ける
He couldn't delegate it to someone else.
君はそれを頼みに来たんじゃなかったか。死ぬまでに私が証明できなかったら、私の関わった書物すべてを
Hey, come on. Why would you do that?
あ
You wouldn't have Raphael's work here if he had the same idea that you.
発表することだ。他の誰かの踏み台にされるのはごめんだから。
You're gonna be many stepping stones, and they're all gonna be grateful for you.
二つ目、君は観測士としてこの研究に参加してくれ。その代わり、食事と寝床はうちの
Hey, let's go.
俺たちが受け取れるのは9割までです
Huh?
何
いや確か
Oh, right,
この
right.
手紙に利益の1割を誰かに渡すって
Pototski.
1割を分ける
Yeah, I saw that coming.
では、そろそろ村へ戻
Completely
る。
different personalities.
は
Don't let yourself be taken advantage of, man.
いやっぱり守りませんか
あ
He's voicing out his opinions
あ、
now.
もうこの世から消えたぞ。
でも俺がまだ覚えちゃってるというか
Man.
多分あの手紙を残した人は箱を開けて読む人のことを信じてああ書いた気がするんです
聖書以外の歴史など私は気にしない。どうしても払いたいなら、君の1割を譲ればいい。
あはい
お父様も出張で忙しいですもんね。
Of course.
お前もう少し
Of
したらまた
course.
職場
Why
に
didn't I think about it?
はい。仕事が
Of
ある
course,
の
it
で
would be Novak's daughter.
その仕事だがなんか悩みがあるんじゃないか
How ironic.
顔を見ればわかるよ
正直
Will you subject her to the same thing? I'd imagine the church has researchers of their own, but those whose work is to refute all the evidence
今の仕事
of the actual truth.
同じ試験を合格してる。
So what's
な
the
のに他の方
Yeah.
と扱いが違うのは
しょうがないことさ
because she's young, because she's a girl? What is
そ
it?
れにあそこで働くただ一人の
Both.
女だ
学術研究とは無関係
Yeah,
なはずです
unfortunately, it is the way of the world. That is what God expects out of you.
栄光を目指すな
God, I could not live with that.
つつましやかに暮らせばいつか家族で天国へ行ける
So many similar themes to Attack on Titan.
お父様から冬場でも勉強できるようにとこの手袋をいただいた時から私の心は学者です。だから私は
I like how we don't
神
see
と真
Novak.
理のためなら引きたくない。才能も発展も人生もいざって時に引いたら終わりだ。
立派に自立してるもんな心配でつい出過ぎた真似をしたよすまなかった
ありがとうございます。
Still don't see his face. I don't buy it.
何してる？行くぞ。平気で罪を犯す奴らだ。
Completely contrasting personalities.
聖職者様がそんなこと言うなんて
神が彼らに与えた運命があれなんだよ。第一、ここへ来た目的は
He's not
彼らと
a
真逆の
he's not an
持
atheist.
てるものとの接触だ。これだ。
I mean, most scientists in history were very arrogant.
暇な上級市民
But
が
they did do great
出題
things.
者になったり回答者になったりして腕を競ってるんだ。
Yeah, yeah.
天体の記録と優れた知性がないと解けない。
This is how it was
手分けしてめぼしい掲示
with
板
all
に
the
貼ってもらおう
scientists.
あとは回答者が出るまでひたすら待つ。
Submit their research
そ
papers,
んな人を現
get
れ
it
ますか
published, and other people
そこは運
would
だ。夕方にお
refute
茶を
or work on it or ridicule them, putting holes in their theories. They all were wealthy because the wealthy people had knowledge and books and all that stuff, access to education.
コロ
I
ナ
do
さん
not trust him, man. Something is off.
パークが褒めてくださったよ。新鮮で興味深いと。
Fresh
これは
thinking is
快挙だ。
not
新たな
look
才能の誕
is
生だ。
frowned upon.
あの
Do not step out of line. Do not walk.
ありがとうご
Do
ざい
not
ます。
stand out.
名義は私で出してるし、けどあれは君の実力。
でもいつも助けてもらっ
What the hell, man?
名義
だから名義は私の名前に変えたけど、君の論文なんだから誇りに思ってよ。俺は意識が欠けてるよ。そもそも
I had a feeling this
女性の
would
名前
be.
で発表なんて危険すぎる。内容に不適切な箇所でもあったら一大事だ。すぐ魔女扱いされて
She can't wrap her head around it.
異端としてこの世界でのうまい動き方を教えられる。
Yeah.
でもその世界に私の名前は
Yeah. You will not stand out. It's
ない
safe.
よ。もう諦めて。君がそんなに
Anyone who
純粋じゃ
closes their eyes,
心配だよ
just do not trust them.
変に目立って目をつけられたら最後。
待て。
ピャスト様。本日はお日柄もよく。
おい、君。
He overheard.
今、
He definitely
お前の
overheard.
論文を君が書いたと言ったか？
At that age.
それはですね。
Fuck off.
自分で答えろ。どうなんだ？
It was his statue or someone else's statue?
それは
Man's not got long to live.
いざって時引いたら
Both his own
電話
words.
するな。
These pivotal moments in these characters' lives
私の
that has
もので
shaped
はない
history
です
in different locations. This could have been a test. Who knows what the old guy's intentions were? You can never know.
賢いよ。
God, this fear. Living in fear and uncertainty. Oh.
悪い人だったんだ。もしそうであってくれたらどれだけ良かったか。けど違う。私をかばったんだ。
No, it's just convenient that
ここが私が見られる最初の景色なんだ。
looking at the sky as she is judging where her ceiling is.
考えが幼稚すぎた。世界がこうならうまい動き方が重要だ。早速次だ。
I mean, Raphael said something similar, but it's not the same situation.
なんでなく
She has to fight
そん
for
な必要ない。
her rights
泣いたらまるで敗者じゃないか。泣いたらまるで問
to
題があるみ
give
たい
to
じ
be
ゃない
given
か。
that credibility, credit.
探さないと。
Maybe the stars, the planets. Oh, oh,
回答者へ
oh! Let's go, please, please. Yes, yes, and bring Novak also along with you. Ah, this show is so good.
なるほど。掲示板の問題にしては随分本格的。
This is how you get tested.
というか、
And Badeni doesn't give a shit about who you are. As long as you're smart, he'll take you.
がないと解けないんじゃ
Can't be answered. Ah, she needs the records.
記録を漁れる。
Oh, be careful.
いいな。みんなはこんな自由に大量の記録が閲覧できるなんて。
So shitty.
いや、でもそれ以前にこんなところ
She's so similar to Okji. How much she
見放されるというか。
gets confused and is indecisive. It's the
やっぱり悪いことだ。
upbringing in
これは
fear.
良くない。やめよう。レイとかどうでもいいから。
It's too enticing.
誰の答えが気になる。
問題貼り終わりました。
It's already done.
ああどうした？
バデーニさんの問題の前に人がいます。あれってもしかして回答者？
ああもう今朝貼ったばかり。
Yeah,
生命にしたし。
but they saw you.
でもここで誰かに見られたら。
The right people saw you.
こんな不安になるくらいなら誰かに見られる前にさっさと退散しよう。
あの
Calm down. Calm down. Man, that does not look welcoming. Don't. Fuck. Alright, we got introduced to one more character who will hopefully join in. We're building a whole party of geniuses. All very differently colored people. Different stories, struggles, reasons. Again, a very interesting character. Immediately want to root for her. Two reasons. She's an underdog and is a genius, and she is Novak's daughter. Oh man, I can't wait for Novak to struggle with this. Man is gonna get Vietnam flashbacks from 10 years ago. Okay, so yeah, pretty obvious what's happening here. She's a woman, and there not been a lot of women researchers in the past, and not just that, she is young also, and she has not proven herself. All these things limit her from accessing these records, this wealth of knowledge. But despite that, she is a genius. She's able to do things that these motherfuckers can't. Oh, it's so infuriating. I mean, the show knows exactly how to present the story, what to show, to immediately want for you to root for the character. Or Badeni, I like how all these characters, you can't just pin them as, oh, this character is so and so. You can't just say that this Badeni is a man of the cloth. He has this ego and pride, and he wants to seek the truth to prove God's creation. It cannot be this flimsy, but at the same time, he is apathetic, and his pride and vanity is to a fault. But he does appreciate meritocracy above everything else. So someone like him will have no qualms about taking in. Oh God, what's the girl's name? How did I forget her name? Yolenta. Yeah. So you'll have no qualms taking Yolenta. I want to see Okiji kind of grow a spine and speak his thoughts more often against what's his name, Badeni, because as smart as Badeni might be, his arrogance is going to lead him to his ruin. Because if he only listens to himself, yes, he listens to reason and logic, and if you present to him a better theory, he'll gladly accept it. But at the same time, he's missing that humanity which Okiji provides. So they do make for an interesting duo, and Yolanda kind of combines both aspects. I'm so curious to see what Novak will think about it. He is supportive, but he is apprehensive because obviously he knows what it'll eventually lead to. So it's not like he's giving her daughter the green flag, go do whatever you want. He's probably going to be checking in on her because he does care for her daughter, his daughter, right? He said that in many episodes ago when he was torturing that guy in the hut, that he does not really believe in the church and the God and whatever. He just wants to put food on the table for his family and protect them. So likely the mother is dead and Yolenta is his whole world. So yeah, he needs to give her the freedom. She is an independent woman, but at the same time, you can't really control her even though you want to. Yes, stuff like this, right? He has no sympathy for the poor and the sordid group of the world, because conveniently at that time he chooses to use the words of God. So it's kind of teetering on both sides, that he does believe in God and writings, but wherever he finds contradictions, he'll seek out the truth. But even here, if he was truly pursuing the truth, then he would see the hypocrisy of his words, that the poor will remain in this poverty cycle because of the lack of access to resources and the opportunities that they were given in their life compared to someone like him, right? So it's not that that's their place in the universe, that God has put them there. Those are some of the flaws of Badeni, but that makes him a real character. This is a classic, putting up an example, a problem, and then a genius comes to solve it and they witness it. If you've seen Good Will Hunting, this motherfucker, something was off about it. Like, you can just see from how characters are drawn that they just come. So yep, what's interesting here is that you can't really have a definitive argument whether or not this guy truly has any interests has her safety in mind, because some of his words, unfortunately, with the way society is, it is true. In a way, within the confines of this place, anyway, it is safer for her to not put out her name. But at the same time, you just can't accept that. It's not fair, and you have to seek out someone else, someone like Badeni, who hopefully they'll take her in. Even the guy who came later on, right? You have no idea of knowing whether or not he's going to punish her for that. So fear might have saved her life there, but it's just not right. It's not her. It's not her who is at fault. It's the system. It's the society. It's these people, and that's what she's struggling with internally. But this enticing, uh, it's like a drug, right? Pursuit of truth, difficult problem to be solved. Just can't help it. See that in all the characters so far. All right, another amazing episode. I wish I could binge this, but yeah, it looks like we'll be adding one more member to the party, and let's see what happens next episode. How what dynamics she will bring, other than her, her genius in solving problems. What will she bring to the table? Uh, More than this is what I'm interested in. But yeah, that's about it for this episode. See you guys next time.